It is caused by human activity. And here's what the scientists also say, is that if we do not get our act together in the next few years, we're going to see more drought, more floods, more extreme weather disturbances, more acidification of the ocean, more rising sea levels, more international conflict as people fight over limited natural resources. We have a moral responsibility to leave this planet in a way that is healthy and habitable for future generations. And together, we are going to take on the greed of the fossil fuel industry. We are going to tell them that their short-term profits are not more important than the future of this planet. Now, I have been criticized for saying this, so I'll say it again. I believe that health care is a right of all people, not a privilege. Now, the Affordable Care Act, which I strongly supported, has done some very good things. It has done away with this thing called pre-existing conditions. It has provided health insurance for some 17 million Americans, and it has done away with discrimination against women in terms of the cost of their health care premiums. But today, despite the Affordable Care Act, 29 million people remain uninsured. Many of you are underinsured with high copayments and high deductibles. Is that right? And every day, the American people are getting ripped off by the pharmaceutical industry, which is charging us the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. All over this country, people are going to their doctors. Doctors are writing out a prescription, but 1 out of 5 Americans cannot afford to fill that prescription. That is crazy. And meanwhile, we end up paying by far, spending by far, more money per capita on health care than the people of any other country. That is why I believe we have got to do two things. Number one, guarantee health care to every person as a right. Number two, create a cost-effective health care system. And the way to do that is through a Medicare for all single-payer program. Now, I believe that when we look at how change in America takes place, and if you just think about this for a moment, you all know change never occurs from the top on down, always occurs from the bottom on up. 100 years ago, brave men and women who were being exploited on the job said, you know what, I'm a worker, but you're not going to treat me like an animal. I am going to form a union. Civil rights movement took place over decade after decade, where black and white and Latino and everybody came together and said, you know what, in America we are going to end discrimination and bigotry and segregation. 100 years ago today, and some people forgot this, women in America did not have the right to vote, could not get the jobs they wanted, could not go to the schools they wanted. But what happened? Women stood up, and with their male allies, they fought back. Let me give you another example. If we were here 10 years ago, not a long time ago, and somebody stood up and you said, you know, Bernie, I think that by the year 2015, gay marriage will be legal in the United States. Somebody said that, the person next to him would have said, what are you smoking? Which raises a whole other issue. But here is the point. The point is that with enormous courage, the gay community and their straight allies stood up to incredible hatred and bigotry, and what they said is that in America, people should have the right to love whomever they want. And let me give you another example of how change, real change, takes place. If we were here, say, 7 or 8 years ago, and somebody jumped up and said, you know, Bernie, there's $7.25 an hour minimum wage. It's a starvation wage. We've got to change that. And what we have to do is raise that minimum wage to $15 an hour. What would have happened is somebody else would have said, $15 an hour? You're crazy. That's double what the federal minimum wage is. You're nuts. It's too high. But you know what happened? Workers in the fast food industry, in McDonald's and at Burger King and at Wendy's, they went out on strike. They stood up, they fought back, and then you know what happened? Right here in Seattle, Washington, $15 an hour. In Los Angeles, in San Francisco, in Oregon, $15 an hour. That is how real change always takes place. It's not some guy sitting up there making that decisions. It is always millions of people demanding that change. And right now, today, 2016, we are in a pivotal moment in American history. And people are looking around them, and they are saying, is America really about having massive levels of income and wealth inequality? Is America about being the only major country not to provide paid family and medical leave? Is America about the only country not to guarantee health care to all people? Should America be the country in the industrialized world which has the highest rate of childhood poverty and has massive problems of homelessness all over America? Should America be the country where our Native American brothers and sisters are living in poverty? Should America be a country which has more people in jail than any other country? Should America be a country in which billionaires are buying elections? Well, that is exactly what the American people are saying. And what this campaign is about is saying, you know what? We can be much more as a people. If we stand together, if we do not allow the Trumps of the world to divide us up, if we stand together as black and white and Latino and Native Americans and Asian Americans, as people who were born in America, people who immigrated into America, as gay or straight. If we stand together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Now, let me tell you why Donald Trump will not become President of the United States. He will not become president because the American people will not vote for somebody who insults Latinos and Mexicans. He will not become president because the American people will not vote for somebody who insults Muslims or women or African Americans or veterans. He will not become president because the American people understand that coming together as a people always trumps dividing us up. The American people understand that working together to support each other, to make each one of our lives better, always trumps selfishness. The American people will not vote for Donald Trump because they understand that every major religion on earth, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, whatever, all of the major religions teach us one very powerful message, that at the end of the day, love trumps hatred. Saturday morning, starting at 10, but I think you got to get there a little earlier than that, will be a very, very important day in American history, because on that day, the people of this great state have an opportunity to show the entire world that the people of Washington are prepared to lead this country into a political revolution. If the voter turnout is high on Saturday morning, we are going to win this. Please bring out your friends and your family. Let's go forward. Thank you all.